I am coming. Sorry, everyone. I'm coming. The way that I fall, I should have played to the Big Ten when I touch stage, but they packed in. Got a pretty stand and make a back bend. Let me see it all through the glass lens. Had some people trying to stake if I see you, I'm teed up, I get you with brass hands. Skate off fast, put a buck on the dash, and somewhere fast. Put my feet up, wait, hold up the label, just call me the Tevin. They just cut the check, so I'm up in the slit. I take the gate to the neck, then I stretch. This time my dad hit the cash dance. Niggas is different now, I was down then, but that's all in the past tense. So I can't stop shit till I'm top 10, and I'm not 10. I'm somewhere level with the crashes. Not all in the day, but it took them some time to feel wrong. I just got the crib near the home. No, I can't keep a charge on the phone. Just think she in love with the ghost. When I'm home, I make sure that she get what she needs, so she know what I'm capable of. Know my rhythm is part with the pros. They pay me to hear what I want.
Everybody, hold on.
I have to
get myself together.
I have this thing like so far away because just got a bunch of stuff going on. Like I have just too many jobs. My painting is not straight. I am a mess. I've been going since like 7 o'clock this morning because I have a full-time job. I have a consulting job, and they went back to back, and then I had to cook dinner, take a shower, get ready, and be here. But I am here. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining. It has been, Lord, sorry, I'm also on YouTube. I'm trying to put these two together. It's been the week. It's been a interesting 48 hours, let's just say. But I'm here, and I'm smiling. I know a number of people have reached out, and I want to say thank you for those who have reached out. I might have to actually cut this this feed on YouTube so that I can actually see closer to my Instagram people. So give me a second, everyone. Let me actually go on. Sorry, I'm trying to read the comments. Thank you. I am doing what I do. There's so much to discuss, and for those of you who read the statement from Robert and reached out to me, thank you. I think one of the questions that everybody asked when they reached out was, are you okay? And the answer is yes, I am fine. It was definitely a shock. If you haven't read it, I might have someone else read it. Anyone who also wants to come live with me, who's read the statement and has a reaction, I'm happy to have you join. There were a number of people who had a number of things to say and respected that I have taken the high road on a lot of things. They weren't necessarily taking the high road on this. I'm actually going to turn off the, hold on a second. I'm trying to figure out if I just turn off the broadcast. Sorry, I'm going to end the broadcast on YouTube so I can come closer to everyone here, and then I can make sure if someone is joining YouTube, we'll just have to get this later. I'm going to move some things around, guys. Like I said, it's been a crazy couple of days, and so let me just get my life together, and I'm going to get this done. I'm just gonna move some things around here. I am so sorry, just be patient. Let me move some things around so I can get closer to everyone, and I can move some things. I've been working all day, and then I will get this done. Lord have his mercy. This is my real life, everybody. It is busy as all heck, but I wouldn't be a true Jamaican if I wasn't busy. So I'm gonna put this so this microphone can go here, and then I can come closer, and I think now we're good. Can everybody see me okay? I hope so. Hopefully you can see me okay. Thanks, Naturally Fairs. So, where do I start? Does anyone have any questions? Like, I'm happy to answer questions. I'm not even sure where to start on this whole situation, because there's a lot that I could say, but I'm not going to, because I was raised well. So I'm going to start there. I am going to, where should I start? People tell me where I should start. Sorry, let me also turn off my air because it's like super loud. Okay, good. There are questions. Awesome. Let me see. And Jean, did you read the statement? Just give me like a yes or no. Sorry, I got my house slippers on. I didn't see the statement. Okay. For those of you who read the statement, I am Banky. Start by telling us how you're doing. Thank you. I'm going to go through the last, so I found out about this statement that was put out, and then I'll tell you what the statement is. So I found out about the statement that was put out on Sunday. And my first initial reaction was disbelief. I think that is probably the word. I was not angry. I was not mad. I was in disbelief. Why was I in disbelief? I was not in disbelief about the fact that he was in a new relationship. I was in disbelief by the fact that the contents of the statement essentially tried to validate his new relationship by invalidating our relationship. That's what I was in disbelief about. I spent 2 years, 8 months, and 2 days with that man. So the statement that was written, let me first of all say, was not written by Robert. I spent 2 years, 8 months, and 2 days with that man. I know how he speaks. I know how he writes. I had control of Robert's social media for most of our relationship. Let me also say I had the password to Rob's emails. I had the passwords to Rob's phone. And so contents of that statement would have been inaccurate because based on the contents of the statements, it was if I was in a relationship with a man who was confessing or conveying love to another woman, when I could see all of the messages between him and this other woman the entirety of the time that we lived together, which was 2 years, 1 month, and 11 days. I had access to all of it. Voicemails, all of it. So unless there was a secret app that he had to communicate with this person, that's ridiculous. And so I was in complete disbelief that that statement was allowed to go out and it was inaccurate. And I also know that he didn't write it. And I also know that the intent of the statement was to make me upset, I'm guessing in hopes that I would then respond. Thank you. Thank you. So, Naturally Fierce just said it. I was blown that he made it seem like he was forced into sharing his life with you, and then he was so in love with his baby mama. Dude, the man had a burner phone. Don't even come in here with that bullshit. That man did not have a burner phone. I managed that man's entire life. I have 2 phones. He does not. There was no burner phone. There was no secret app. There was nothing. This statement was written by someone who felt the need to validate that new relationship by invalidating ours. Let me be very clear to everyone. Rob and I broke up on June the 30th at 9:45 a.m. At 9:46 a.m., what that man did was no longer my concern. None of it. We were not together. What that man did at 9:42 was my concern. We were still technically together. At 9:46, no longer my concern. Therefore, putting out a statement trying to invalidate a relationship you were no longer in does not make sense. Putting out a statement stating that you were in love with someone and, like Naturally First said, forced to be with someone else. Let me just break down me and Rob's relationship. I have no children for Robert. I am a mother of 1 with another man. She is 21, almost 22 years old. Rob paid all of the bills in our home, with the exception of groceries and dinners that I would take into once in a while, and I upgraded his wardrobe. Those bills were paid by him. The first month of me getting there, I did do more. I did do more on the financial support side, but after that month, so for basically 2 years, he was with a woman who did not have his kids that he paid all the bills for. There is no reason to be with me in that situation instead of being with the mother of your 2 children. You have no incentive to be with me. You have no familial ties to me. I do not have your children, and you're not gaining anything financially from me. So to make a statement, again, which Robert did not write, she did, because if you read that statement, it's very female. It's very come at me. I got time today. Oh, I'm going to be in the comments. It's egging me on to respond. Funny part about it, I didn't learn about that statement until a week and a bit later. And at this point, we're not together. So you're trying to poke a ghost. I am no longer a part of this man's life. And what he did from 9:46 a.m. on June 30th when we broke up was no longer my business. Ladies, I'm going to talk to the ladies. This is what we have to understand. When we're no longer with someone, we need to not give a fuck about what they do next. So the fact that he's back with the mother of his children, that's where he should be. Why? And I'm going to tell you, let me tell you my downfall in the relationship. Because the title says, fuck my feelings and fuck you too. So let me fuck my feelings for a second. I did not want to help Robert raise his children. At all. That's the bitch in me. That's where I went wrong in the relationship. I had no desire to raise Robert's children. I want to be on a yacht in Bali shaking my ass. Why? Because I spent 21, almost 22 years raising my own, who's about to graduate university on the dean's list, who, as many of you know, came 3rd place in Canada's Got Talent last year, who's doing the damn thing. So I walked into a relationship with a man thinking that I could handle something and realized I couldn't. And so therefore, the fact that he went back to the woman who had 2 of his children, that's what you should do. You should go back. You should absolutely go back to the woman who had your children. because you should not bestow that type of drama onto another unsuspecting woman. So congratulations. Do you understand how happy I am for those kids? Because I told Robert when we broke up, your life is too chaotic for one person to deal with. You need to go out and be a father to your children. Children, I don't want to help you raise. And so therefore, the life that we both want are very different. I'm not doing PTA meetings. I'm not picking up kids from soccer. I'm not going to spelling bees. I'm not going to dance class. I'm not going to gymnastics. I was already helping him raise one, and that wasn't going so well. And so therefore, it only makes sense for him to go back to someone who has his children. How is that going to make me upset? That's what I told him to do. Because another woman in my situation should not have to deal with his residual drama. So why would I be mad about that? You're trying to argue with a ghost. I was poof, be gone. Let me be clear. I didn't follow Robert on social media. I didn't have any of Robert's text messages anymore. From the moment we broke up, I deleted all of that. Because at 9:46 a.m., Robert was no longer in my life. So anything he did from that point is seriously not my business. Let me also be clear, ladies. Anything he's ever said to me about her is my business. And anything he says to her about me is her business. And so I was not going to go on social media as a 43-year-old woman to argue with a 29-year-old. Yes, she's 29, he's 47. I'm not going to go argue with a 29, maybe she's 30, they're 17 years apart, right? What do I look like as a grown woman going to argue with you about a man that I told that we need to go our separate ways, that we agreed this relationship wasn't working because we wanted separate lives? And my life didn't include 4 kids and 2 bonus children, as his statement said. That's not my life. My life is traveling and doing the damn thing. I got 65 million jobs as a Jamaican, okay? It did not include that. So why would I be mad? Sorry guys, I'm trying to read all of it. my girl Dahlia Joe said that one child was the kicker. Absolutely. And thank you, Naturally Fierce. Wow, nobody has time for the foolishness. So we have, and this is really for ladies, right? Like, I'm always going to take the high road. I'm always going to take the high road. Let me be clear. For the 2 years, 8 months, and 2 days that Bob and I was together, I grew as a woman. The fact that for those 2 years he paid all the bills, it allowed me to hone my skills. It allowed me to create this show. I also have another show called Not Your Typical Girl Talk. I have a radio show. I have 8 books on the market. I was doing my consulting, and now I have another job. I'm booked and busy. And he helped me to develop skills that is going to make me marketable, not only in the workplace, but in my personal life. I have become a better woman for another man. So I am never going to degrade him. I am not going to disrespect him. I'm not going to call him out his name. I'm not going to do anything. What I will say is I no longer respect him. That's what I will say. Okay, so it wasn't all bad. It wasn't bad at all. That's the funny part, guys, is that's why that statement is, as the kids say, fugazi. Because it wasn't written by Robert. It was written by an insecure woman who saw the man that she loved go off and have the life with another woman that she wanted with him. And that had to, let me be clear, I empathize with her. Believe it or not, I empathize with a woman who has children. She has 3 children by 2 different men, 2 of which are with Robert. Neither of the fathers were involved in the children's life. She had these 2 children with Robert. They broke up. He got with me, and he started giving me the life that she wanted. That had to suck. And on top of that, compared to her, I'm an old bitch. This girl's in her 20s. I'm in my 40s. So she's watching the father of her children having a life with some new old bitch that he should have been having with her and the children. That had to be difficult to watch. I could not imagine myself in that place. So I can get why now that the opportunity came about, she felt the need to devalue his relationship with me because that shit had to hurt her ego. It had to hurt her that he came back to her only after we broke up. Because if a man is so in love with you and you have his children, how is he incentivized to be with a woman who does not have his children for whom he's paying all the bills? Is the map mathing to everybody? Because it's not mathing to me. Naturally fierce, let's change that profile picture now. Girl, I'm actually trying to get a really good picture so I can change the profile pic. But you know what? People are probably going to be pissed off. So let that profile pic stay up and piss some people off. Let me see some of the comments. I wanna make sure that I'm not missing anything, guys. And thank you so much for joining. At least you both knew when to walk away. A lot of people end up cheating on each other. Facts. It wasn't even, thank you, and Dahlia Jones responded, it wasn't ever going to be about cheating. Rob doesn't know how to adult on his own. He needed someone to help with his messy life once Sheba left. Cast Forever Rising, but you gave him the life you had. She can't do what you did for him. And that's also not my concern. Their relationship from this point forward, none of my business. I pray that that relationship works out. And you want to know why? Because they have 2 children who deserve to not have their father come in and out, in and out, in and out of their life. Those children deserve that. Those children don't deserve a woman like me that does not want to raise them. I'm a bitch for that. I was great for Rob professionally. I was amazing for Rob professionally. I was amazing for wanting to give Rob the life I wanted, which was to travel and see the world and do amazing things. I did not want to be part of the familial structure that Rob wanted to set up. And so we decided to go. And so the best thing for him is to be with those children because they deserve that. So I am hoping that they work out. I am praying they work out because as a daddy's girl, let me tell you something. I am a daddy's girl through and through. My father passed away last September and it was the most hurtful moment of my life. I know the importance of having an amazing father in your life. And I want that for those children. I wasn't the amazing mother figure that they needed, but their father should be the best father he can be for them. So why would that upset me? Why would you try to upset me by the fact that he did what I told him to do, which was go be a good father? He never cheated on me. Listen, if that statement was written June the 14th, while I was sitting here in Toronto, still with him, we would have had a problem. That statement was written July the 14th, 2 weeks after we broke up and ended the relationship. Why would that make me mad? Ladies, do not get mad about your past when you should be focused on your present so you can create a better future. What do I look like worried about someone who is a ghost in my past? Robert became a ghost in my... This is why I'm doing this show alone. I didn't end the show. I said I was going to change the conversation around Black relationships, and I'm still going to do it with or without him because that's part of my past. This is my present, and I'm preparing for my future. So trying to come at me and invalidate me and talk about as if Listen, Robert is 6'9", like 200 pounds, and wears size 15 shoes. You think I was holding that man hostage in a relationship, making him come on this show every Thursday and sit down and say the things that he did? You did not. Our creative director, Dahlia Joanne, and sponsors in the chats right now, we used to sit down with her and have meetings about this show. If she can come on right now, she would tell you Robert was completely invested in this relationship and having this show. What do I look like staying with a man who doesn't want to be with me? What do I look like fighting to stay with a man who says he doesn't want me? What do I look like? What are we talking? What are we talking about? Y'all, really? Y'all, really? Really? I can't find nobody else? I was so desperate. I was so desperate that I was holding on to a man who no longer wanted to be with me, who was so in love with somebody else, whose text messages I could see, who every vile thing she said to him I could see, whose voicemails I could hear, whose WhatsApp messages I could hear and see. Come on. Come on. Make it make sense. So the reality is, Rob put himself in a position to not be respected by a lot of people by putting the messages I have gotten. I won't even repeat the things that people have said to me about him, especially men. Especially men. So I'm going to read this here. Let me just, oh, there's some chat here. Let me see. Let me just see some things. Sorry guys, these chats are going so fast. Give me a second. Okay, so let me read some of them. Naturally Fair, she was pissed you were older and banging. Thank you so much. I am Banky. I love your maturity in this matter. I've got nothing but maturity. I'm 43 years old. I've lived life. I've seen things. My daughter is only a few years younger than this young lady. What do I look like trying to engage with her and my ex about their new life? It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And guess what? Here's the thing. Part of fucking your feelings is to ensure that people don't disrupt your peace. I don't allow people to disrupt my peace. There are two things I will promise a man in a relationship: peace and leaving him better than I found him. And so I'm not going to allow anybody to disrupt my peace or take me out of character. It makes no sense. I'm giving away my power. I don't need somebody to validate a relationship that I was in, that I experienced. That makes no sense. Here, another thing, what she saw between you, she can't do. Thank you, Cass, for ever rising. Dahlia Joanne, she said, you were good for his daughter. You elevated that child's life as well. Let's not forget. Indeed, I did. We won't even talk about that. Cass, forever rising. If she was smart, she'd reach out to you and ask you to tell her how you got him a 6-figure income. Laugh out loud. There are people going back and forth, so Rob doesn't know how to manage his own life. No, he doesn't. So for the person who's asking that question, I don't know who it is. Let me tell you about how much of Rob's life I manage. We gonna fuck our feelings for a second. So 11 picks, let's talk. When I met Rob in October of 2020, he was living in Rochester, sleeping on his aunt's couch. When I went to live with Robert, when I went to go see him in Phoenix, he was driving Uber, sleeping on his friend's couch. I came there, I got him out of there. The day after I got there, Rob has 2 advanced degrees. I redid his resume and I created an email account for him because I said, your resume is a 6-figure resume. And I started applying for jobs for Rob with an email address that I created for Rob. I communicated with all of the employers for Rob. I created every single interview prep that Rob did. I created it. The person he was interviewing with, their title, their background from LinkedIn, the questions that he should ask, any notes about the organization. He would sit there, do the interview. I would do the follow-up. They were always communicating with me. Within 5 weeks of me arriving, Rob got a job. We got a new apartment. 2 months after that, he got a job paying him $15,000 more than that job. Several months after that, I read an article about the Great Resignation. And so I said to Rob, I can get you $35,000 to $45,000 more because in your industry, people are leaving and people do not have the level of skill set you have, especially because of the fact that you are an ex-athlete and you've traveled and worked and lived internationally. You are the top echelon of man. Rob said, okay, babe, let's see what you can do. Rob started interviewing for jobs within the $150,000, $185,000, $135,000 range. I put all of that together. He then got another job, making 6 figures. I managed all of that. I had the president of his bank in our home. I made him lunch so they could have a meeting instead of taking them to a restaurant because I wanted to show him Rob's life and how stable of a man he was, because that's what you do when you're at that level. I've been a director in companies. I have ran entire divisions. I have created divisions. I know how this shit works. My job, one of my jobs, is to advise entrepreneurs how to run their business. So I took that, I brought it into my home. And the last place I left after taking him from his auntie's couch in October of 2020, by the time March of 2022 came, we were in a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, split-level house, and Rob was making 6 figures. So yes, when I left Rob, when I decided to leave Phoenix, Arizona, it took me 19 days from the moment I decided to leave to coming back to Canada. I had to find my own place to live and all of that. Let me be very clear. I left Rob in that 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom place. Rob is now in Houston, Texas, sleeping on his mother's couch, driving Uber. I didn't even want to say that, but since people want to try to say he don't, that's where he is now. I left him on March 14th in that 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom. I subsequently left. He's in Houston, Texas, in a 1-bedroom apartment, sleeping on his mother's couch, driving Uber. Don't test me. Let me just say. Okay? Let me just say. Let me go to some of these other questions and these comments, because I needed a moment, because I wasn't even going to say all of that, but I'm going to say what it is. We're going to keep it 100% real. So Dahlia Joanne's response was, he said on several occasions that he was where he was thanks to Sheba. He has said many times that he needed supervision. Thank you, girl. Again, Dahlia Joanne has been our creative director, and she sat with me and Rob having meetings about this show. So amen, hallelujah to that. What did Cast Forever Rising say? Sorry. 11 picks. Every man needs a great woman, so that it's very nice that he acknowledged the role she played in his life, but I'm sure he will be fine moving forward, and so will Sheba. I will be fine. I have no problem. I will be fine. Yes, I also bought the couch he's sleeping on. Sorry. No one said Sheba would be fine. Rob has full circle and ended up right back where he was, where she left him. A testament to Sheba's influence. First of all, I'm sure he's too tall to sleep on a couch. No, he's not. That was nice of you to say, but no, he's not. I know the couch. We bought the couch together. I know what couch it is. So he's actually not. That's what he's doing. So to try to shade me And I'm not even going to go far, but that's the reality of the life we live. Let's talk about fucking our feelings. That's the reality of life. And I actually don't care. But what I will never respect from any man, is to try to fire shots and act as if a woman kept him in a relationship. A woman that does not have his kids. That makes no sense. I have no reason to keep him in a relationship. Why would a man stay in a relationship when he was in love with the mother of his kids and stay with a woman who doesn't have his kids and pay all of her bills and pay for her to live while he was not doing that for the mother of his children that he apparently loved? That just doesn't make sense, guys. And that's why, for me, the respect is lost. I wish them the best. I want you to see my face. Sincerely, I wish them the best, but keep me out of your life. Keep me out of your narrative. Your narrative should never include me at all. My new narrative is never going to include him. My new man is never going to ever feel like he has to live in his shadow. It's a pretty damn big shadow too. He's 6'9". No one in my life is ever going to feel like I need to invalidate him to validate them. They're already going to come secure with everything they need to maintain a relationship with me. But like I said, and I'm going to say this again, I empathize with that young lady. I empathize with the fact that she watched me have a life publicly with him that she wanted to have privately. You carry a man's 2 children who are born 363 days apart, and that man goes off and have a life with someone else. Ladies, you gotta feel for that. You gotta feel for that. I would have to be cold-hearted as hell not to feel for that woman. I don't respect what the both of them have done, but that doesn't mean I cannot empathize with a young woman in her 20s having to raise 3 kids by herself while the father of 2 of her children went off with some old bitch. That's me. I'm the old bitch. Me and her are about 14 years apart, and he went off with the old bitch to give the old bitch the life she wanted. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. Seriously. I wouldn't wish it on anybody. And so I pray for them because I pray for those babies. I pray those babies, all of them, get the type of father that they deserve for him to be. If us being together and us no longer, and that's what I mean say, because my girl Dalia Joanne is here. I read her the text messages between Rob and I when we were no longer together. And I said to Rob, if our breakup means that you can go off and be a better father to your children, it was all worth it. Every experience we had, every fight we had, every moment we had, if it means that you go off and be a better father to your children, it's worth it. So that statement was not Robert's words, because Robert knew that that was the reason we were no longer together. Robert knew that my inability to be able to be a part of the life that he wanted was the reason we were not together. So there was no way I was going to be mad about the fact that he went off to do what I told him to do, be a better father to his children. Because being with me meant he wasn't doing that. And as a mother and as a daddy's girl, that's important. the needs of those children superseded mine and my desire to be with him. So it's trying to shade me in a message, in a statement, was ridiculous. Because if you had actually had a conversation with your man and he was open and honest with you, he would have told you that's the reason we're not together. Because I told him a life with me doesn't actually get you where you want to be. We both agreed we're going in two different directions. I have an adult child, you got a bunch of little kids. Our lives are not same. And I don't, after experiencing raising a child with him, I didn't want to experience raising any more with him. And that was not my child. And quite frankly, I did not want my money going to children that were not mine. I'm gonna keep it real. Fuck mine. I didn't want that. I didn't want to get married, build this empire, have all of my books and all of the hustles that I got going on, and then my wages are coming out for child support for kids I didn't birth. I'm supposed to be traveling. This Christmas, I'm supposed to be in Singapore, Bali, and Thailand. That's where I'm supposed to be. My daughter next month is going to England for 2 weeks. I think she's going to go to Cyprus after that and do a bunch of things. That's the world I live in. My world doesn't include little kid duties. My world doesn't include you being on child support for the next years. That's not my world included. So please go off and be a better father, because being with me doesn't allow you to do that. This was real, guys. I'm giving you real talk. This is a good question. 11 Pigs, did you know that he had kids? Yes. And that was my issue. I put a lot of my non-negotiables to the side when I got with him. I did not want a man with young kids, and I did not want a man with multiple baby mamas. Rob had both. But the man that he presented himself to me, I thought, you know what? I like that man. I can grow with that man. And it was then us living together. It was then us getting custody of one of his children. It was me seeing his parenting skills and all of that. And then me living through the drama with the two women that he had children with, the cursing, the calling out my name, the stalking me. I was stalked. One showed up at our house. Never cursed any of these women out, was never disrespectful, because they're still the mother of his children. I have never had a conversation with this young lady. Even when she called yelling and screaming and cursing and all of those things, and I read terrible text messages, I never responded. That's not my business. That's his mess to clean up. So yes, I knew he had children. And yes, I walked into it. But the reality of him with children was something that I could not deal with. And the things that unfortunately came with those children, I decided that I could no longer be a part of. And I'm being honest. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I was a great woman for him. I couldn't be a good mother to his children because I didn't want to do that. I wanted to be a glorified babysitter, and Rob needed me to be a mother. Because two of his children, unfortunately, their mother is unwell and unable to raise them, and two of his children he had with the young lady he's now back with. I was unable to keep up that part of the deal. And so I said, go off and live the life where you are a better father. I'm being honest. I'm being completely honest. Right? Thank you, 11 Pigs. I don't do drama. For the people who are on here and know me, they will tell you I am so damn unproblematic. I don't do drama. I don't bring drama. You can get me mad real quick. I can go from 0 to a 100, but that 0 to 100 is for me to deal with. I'm not going to go on curse you off in social media. I'm not going to call and send text messages. I'm not going to call you out your name. I'm not going to disrespect you. I'm going to go have a moment, fuck my feelings, come back and have a mature conversation. I don't do that. So when the reality of our relationship started to show, I knew that it was best for me to, one, leave Phoenix, Arizona. When the time came for me to be able to leave, it took me 19 days. From the day the decision was made to the day I came home, I had no place to live. I had no place to live. I did not know where I was going to live. I didn't know any of that. I found a place, booked a ticket, packed my stuff, came home, and came to an amazing place to live within 19 days. Because when I got to get shit done, I got to get shit done. So if I was able to do that in 19 days, why would I not been able to do that if this man had ever expressed love for a woman who had his children? Why would it have made sense for me to stay with him knowing that? That would have been nonsensical. Because I didn't want to be a mother to those children. So if he was in love with the mother of the children, that's where he should be, for the children, not with me, because I don't fit that. I fit Mr. High profile, high powered, let's go get it, let's go make this money, let's go build this empire, not soccer games and spelling bees. I don't want that for my life. I want to travel with my daughter and go take the Eurail and for us to go to Italy and wherever else we gonna go when she goes away. That's the life I want. I want trips with my girls going to Bali and Thailand and Singapore, not Disney World. That's not what I want. And when that became a reality, we parted. No disrespect, no yelling, no cursing, just two different paths. And this is why, and I'm not going to stay too long, guys. So this is why that statement was bewildering. It was flabbergasting. And it was very disrespectful. And I lost respect for him. And because despite the fact that I knew he did not write it, he still allowed it to go on his page. He still allowed her to try to validate her position in his life by trying to invalidate the position I had in his, not realizing that the statement just didn't make sense. One, because we were no longer together, and two, because Rob actually had no reason to stay with me other than the fact that he loved me. He had no reason to when I said let's create the show, he had no reason to sit there every day, every Thursday and do this show other than the fact that he wanted to. He wasn't being forced to. I have no gun. I have nothing holding him. He wanted to do it. So this statement just, it's very forced and it was unnecessary because I released him. I released him to go back to be a father. Like it's so good. As you should have. Exactly. It is what it is. So I want to say, I want this to be a lesson. I actually want this show, as I'm wrapping up, to be a lesson to women. When you are no longer in a relationship with a man, release everything that has to do with that man. The moment you come to a decision and that relationship comes to an end, like I said early in the show, what that man does is no longer your concern. Don't try to stalk him on social media. Don't try to, read all of the text messages about all the love you shared. Delete that shit. Get rid of all of it. Because why are you holding on to the past when you're supposed to be making sure that your present and future is good? Let it all go. I don't have Robert's text messages. I don't follow him on social media. I don't call Robert. I don't send messages in a bottle. I don't email him. He is in my rearview mirror. And that's where he will stay. Because in order for me to be able to live in this present and get to the future that I want, that's where he has to be. Not me obsessing over him. None of it. It would be ridiculous. get Rob back on the show to answer for this Facebook message, and let's just keep the sex tape. There were no sex tapes. Well, let me, I won't even go there. There ain't none of that happening. But listen, if Rob wanted to come on, sure. If the both of them wanted to come on, I would gladly have them. I have no beef. This beef isn't mine. This need to validate and prove isn't my issue. It's theirs or hers or his or whomever. And so if anybody speaks to him or her, tell them they have a space here. I don't even have to be the person that interviews them. I can give somebody else access and they can speak their truth. Because everybody deserves that. I have no beef. Nothing. At all. Yes, like I have no beef. I have no beef with the man who went back and did what I told him to do. Go be a better father. Because this bitch here ain't trying to be a mother to your children. I done the mother. I don't enjoy parenting. It is a lifetime commitment. I only needed to do once to realize I don't like it. It's not fun. It's not enjoyable. It's actually terrible. I don't like it. It's boo. Remove it from me. Woo. Like rebuke it. When men used to come after I had my daughter and talk about, oh, you'd be a great mom. I said, I am a great mom. I'm not going to be a great mom to anybody else. Let me tell you, there are two things I wouldn't have done. Had children with multiple men and have multiple children. So guess what? I had one child with one man. Because that's what I wanted for my life. That's the decision I made for my life. Because that's what worked for my life. And when things don't work for my life, I no longer do them. When they no longer work for the path that I need for my life, I stop doing them. Let me also say, ladies, please, you go ahead and do that. Let me also say this. You know what's funny about life? The universe, or whatever you believe in, makes you uncomfortable when it's time for you to leave a situation. I started really becoming uncomfortable in this relationship. The first step for me was to leave and no longer live together. And the second step was to decide that we needed to end the relationship because it was no longer working for us. And I came back home and I realized how at peace my life was. My life was so peaceful. I was sitting in this house that I was rebuilding in this amazing place with my 24-hour concierge downstairs and my rooftop pool and all of these things that were happening. And I was like, girl, you are at peace. And the only time my peace was disrupted was when one of the two women that Robert had in his life decided to email me after me blocking them on various social medias, found me, sent me an email to disrupt my peace. And I sent him that message and I said, please, can you please tell this person to leave me alone because I am at peace? And I said to him, here I am, thousands of miles away, and your untidy life is trying to create havoc in mine. And I started looking around. I was like, girl, if the universe isn't sending you a message, I don't know what to tell you. Because here you are at peace, living your life, minding your business, drinking your water and meditating, and someone in his life is trying to disrupt your peace. He needs to go and tidy up his life because you don't deserve it and no other woman in your situation deserves it. Ladies, you got to determine what you deserve. You got to determine the type of life you want. You got to be intentional. It's okay to walk away. I walked away from a man who paid our bills. I got to pay my own now. And it's a lot of them. This place isn't cheap. I just told you I got 24-hour concierge and a rooftop patio deck with a pool. It is expensive. My life is expensive. All of it. I work 65 million jobs. I am tired. half of the time. But you know what? It's worth my peace. It's worth me freeing myself from a situation I don't want so that the one that I do want, I can make space for that. It allowed me to free myself to allow the man that I love. I'm going to be very clear. This doesn't make me hate Robert. This doesn't make me have disdain for him. This doesn't invalidate the 2 years, 8 months, and 2 days we spent together. Absolutely not. Those were beautiful memories we shared. He and I shared beautiful memories. The drama surrounding him, not great. He and I, beautiful memories, lots of laugh. This statement doesn't taint that. That still exists. But what the statement does is the respect level I have, I no longer have. Because you put yourself in a position that you didn't need to put with a woman who loved you and took care of you and nurtured you. It was unnecessary. Going back to the mother of your child should not need to have a full statement invalidating the previous woman you were with, acting as if I held you at gunpoint to be here for 2 years, 8 months, and 2 days. I have no respect for that. But do I love him still? Absolutely. Do I still cherish the memories we have? Absolutely. Do I wish him well? Absolutely. Because what do I look like hating him for moving on? That's what we're all supposed to do. I'm going to move on eventually. I can't hate him for moving on. I can't hate him for him being a better father. I can't hate him for none of that. But I don't respect the manner in which he wanted to announce him moving on. Again, I know she wrote the statement, but as a grown 47-year-old man, he has a 29-year-old woman manipulating him to do something so public, to try to disrespect a woman who helped him to live a really damn good life together. I have no respect for that at all. But you know what? The universe needed me to see this in order to accelerate the healing I was on, because I had put him on this pedestal that he's no longer on. And the universe needed to kick that pedestal to be like, girl, reality check for a second. Get to it. But it does not discount 2 years, 8 months, and 2 days. Doesn't discount any of that. When I write about him in the book that's coming out, by the way, see you next spring, Fuck Your Feelings, The Journey to Imperfect Love, I'm not going to talk shit about him. Because what he did at 9:46 a.m. on June 30th after we broke up was no longer my business. And ladies, I need y'all to remember that. You do not need to create havoc in the life of a man that you are no longer with. You do not need to hold on to text messages. You do not need to curse him out. You do not need to be in his DMs. You do not need to be in his posts, messaging, writing all kinds of things when he shows the new girl. He's no longer your business. What that man does is no longer your business. The reality is most men move on before us women do. There are more of us than them. They have more options than we do. So I expected Robert to move on before I did. I told him that. I was very clear with him. You will likely move on before I do, because you have more options. And at the end of the day, he's 6'9", 200 pounds, and a size 15, and a former basketball player. He's got plenty of options. I'm a wonderful woman, but my options are not the same as his. So I expected him to move on. Because that's what people do when they break up. They move on. They move on. And so he moved on. Okay? Ladies, we can't be mad at the moving on. We have to move on. And we have to let go. I let go at 9:46. I let go of the text messages. I let go of the voicemails. I let go of any type of thing that kept me in attachment. I no longer called him because we agreed that we would not speak again. There was nothing after our last conversation of finalizing some business we had to speak on July the 2nd. I have not spoken to him since then. We have nothing to talk about. We finalize our business. We are in each other's rear view. We are a ghost of each other's past. There's nothing to discuss. So we gotta let go. Yes, I think a lot of people expected me to come on here and I was going to be angry and I was going to fuck my feelings. And like the title says, fuck you too. I had to fuck my feelings. Fuck my feelings. This is what the show is about. Let's change the conversation, guys. There are ways to a healthy breakup, and I damn well was not going to come on here and bash him. I'm going to speak the truth. I'm going to be accurate. But I'm not going to rip down that man. I'm not going to say the things that people have said to me about him, especially men, about what they think of him. That's their opinion. My opinion is still I spent 2 years, 8 months, and 2 days being loved by him, being supported by him, being provided for by him. And yes, did I help to orchestrate some of that? Yes, I 100% did. But I did what a woman does when she loves a man. I grew up in a household, in a culture that you take care of your men. You make their plate. You serve them first. You cut their toenails if they need it. You iron their clothes so they can go off and do the world. You make sure that they're good. I don't need an award for it. I was a good woman to her man. And for doing that, I got rewarded for not having to worry about the world. I got rewarded for not having to pay bills. Yes, she is very young. She's 29. He's 17 years older than her. So yeah, she's absolutely very young. And that's why, to be quite frank, I'm excusing some of her behavior. I could not imagine being a young woman with 3 kids, 2 baby dads, and neither of the dads were in the life. I couldn't imagine it. That's not a life I would have ever chosen for myself. And so, young lady, anybody who knows her, who's coming on here to stalk for her, who's coming to hear me so she can try. Young lady, I empathize with you. And I wish you and him nothing but the best, because that's what your children deserve. Your children deserve a father, because I had an amazing one. And I know how amazing and wonderful your life can be when your father is very present and available. I know what that feels like. So I wish you and him sincerely the best of luck, but keep me out of your fucking business, because I don't care. That is my message. So whoever came on here watching for her, please deliver that message for her. Duke Nation, I'm 17 years older than my oldest daughter. Don't kill me. Right? Please deliver that message. I said that because I mean it from the bottom of my heart. I have not an angry bone in my body about this situation. Because why? Because my life is good. I'm in a good place. I've got a great job. My business is booming. I've got these shows. I'm writing another book. My daughter is about to graduate on the dean's list and she didn't get pregnant. You have no idea how when she turned 21 and wasn't pregnant like I was, what a big deal that was. I have nothing but life to celebrate. There is nothing for me to be depressed about. My life is so good. The only thing I don't have in my life is my daddy. My daddy is the only thing that, dying is the one thing that made my heart break into pieces. But everything else about my life, guys, I guarantee you, if my girl Dahlia Joanne is still on here, she can tell you the shit over here is good. So I'm not going to harbor hard feelings for someone who wants to create the type of life that I have, a good one. Do it. Please, guys, go out there and live your best lives. Live the life that you want. I'm going to write that book and we're going to turn it into a movie, Duke Nation. But go out and live it. Ladies, live life with grace. Stop giving people your power. Stop giving your ex your power, his new girl your power, all of that. I didn't give her away my power when she was in the relationship and she was disrupting it and disrupting his peace, and I'm not going to do it now. You should never let anybody take you out of character. This is Toshiba 24/7. This is me. I meditate, I exercise, I drink water, and I mind my damn business. And like I said, as I'm going to wrap up, what that man said to me about her is not her business. And what he's saying to her about me is not mine. I'm going to hold on to the 2 years, 8 months, and 2 days that he and I had and have fond and beautiful memories of it. Anything after that is for him to deal with. He's got to deal with his own conscience. He's got to deal with his decisions. He's going to have to reflect back and think about the decisions that he's made. He's going to have to reflect back and think about the impact of that statement and what that means and how that makes him look and how people view him. That's on him. I'm not going to own that. Ever. Because I still have beautiful memories. And that's what matters. 2 years, 8 months, and 2 days of them. So, just a couple of things before I go. I put something out yesterday, and I want to talk to women about the keys to a healthy breakup. Number one, I've been repeating it all night. What that person does the moment after you break up is none of your business. Unfollow them on social media. Do not drive yourself crazy by trying to stalk and see what kind of new life they have. Back to number one, it's none of your business. Delete those text messages. Don't go back and try to relive the happy times or the moments or the whatever. It's done. It's in the past. Poof, be gone. Goodbye. Number four, reevaluate what you did wrong. I have been very honest about, probably a little bit too honest with y'all, about how I went wrong in this relationship. And because of that, I get to number five. I'm reevaluating what my new relationship will look like. Because the next man I get with deserves the best version of me. The very best version. And that I fit into his life the way he needs me to fit into it. I didn't fit into Robert's life the way he required me to. I fit into the part of his life that I wanted to elevate. So we need to do that. And allow yourself to heal. And you know what? The last one, be graceful. No need to go and put yourself in situations that are not necessarily. Carry yourself with grace and class. Take the high road. If you love that person, don't turn around and then try to call out their name. Why were you with that person? Don't try to say they were toxic or narcissistic or whatever it is. Why were you with them for the period of time you were with them if they were all of those things? So this is why I wish him luck. I wish him a healthy life. I wish him a good life. I wish him great memories with his children. I wish him times that me and my father have that will forever live in my heart. I hope he creates that for his children. I hope he passes on some of his amazing traits and qualities to his little boy. I hope he teaches his little boy all of the skills that he had to allow his little boy to also travel the world and maybe play basketball or soccer or all of that. I wish him all of that. I wish him the best. This is my last thing. Okay, And then Dahlia Joanne says, and remember, you cannot build a relationship on potential. Drops, I'm literally going to drop my mic. You cannot build a relationship on potential. I love that one. Thank you, everybody. You do not know how much this support means. You will not ever know how much me opening up my life and sharing this. I promised everyone when I created this show, Fuck My Feelings, my goal, Dahlia Joanne will tell you, is to change the conversation around Black relationships. And I am going to do this every day I come on. I'm going to change the conversation, even if it means putting my life on Front Street, even if it means showing you my flaws, because I have to be open and honest. I'm never going to fake the funk. I didn't when Robert and I were sitting on the couch, and I'm not going to do it now. And so thank you. Thank you for enjoying my journey. Thank you for those who again sent me messages and checked on me. I'm good. And I hope you realize how good I am. And I hope some of you ladies really take what I'm saying. If you're going through anything right now, that you take some of these words and you apply them. You can't control nobody but yourself. I cannot control the actions of any other person but my actions. And I have done what I need to do to make sure that I have cleared my path to receive what's meant for me. Robert was not meant for me. That man that you're with, that you're maybe trying to hold on to, maybe he's meant for you. And while you're holding on to him, you're stopping yourself from clearing the path for the man that is meant for you, who is going to fit into your life and him into yours. That's the man for you. Stop holding on. Stop trying to fight for something that's not meant for you. The universe is making you uncomfortable so you can get the fuck out. Leave. Because that's the only way you get to the life that's actually meant for you, and you release that person to go and live the life that's for them. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm asking. I love you all. I appreciate you all. I'm still going to be checking my DMs and checking messages. And if any of you want to ever join me on the show and ask me questions or any of that, I'm an open damn book. I'm willing. So I'm happy to open this to co-host. If you're interested in coming on and hosting a show with me and asking me some real fuck my feelings questions, let's do this shit. We are here to change the conversation around Black relationships, even if it means putting all my business on damn Front Street. So I love you all. I gotta go eat my rice and chicken. I'm done. Goodbye. Sayonara. Bye.